Okay, today we're going to take a look inside the Horikawa new Space Capsule. This is the steering wheel version. This whole top part is tin with the exception of course, the front. And there's going to be a lever that pushes up on this, and when that gets pushed up on, then this opens. And of course there's the pilot with the steering wheel instead of the guns. Now most of these capsules, instead of having this batwing thing that flies open, usually had two doors on either side that would swing open. So this one's a little bit different in that respect. Now it's nice having the tin top, but the whole bottom part is plastic except for the battery door and a little plate around the on-off switch. And they did go with all metal gears in the gearbox and everything, which is nice, but unfortunately the only pieces that have to work really hard in this toy is this dual cam. There's a front cam and a back cam, and they have to work really hard. When this front cam comes around, it's going to lift this lever up, and this lever is lifting this shaft, and that shaft is what's going to stop the bump and go, turn on a clicking sound, and then eventually this part will come around, and there's this lever which sits down in here, and this lever is going to get, we can hold it so the camera can see it, this lever is going to get pushed up, and that's what's going to push on the bottom of this device here to make everything open. Lots of force, plastic cam, and it's only pressed onto the shaft. So why they would expect it to work, I don't know. That yellow one is a 3D printed new one that I made. This is the original one, which was cracked into 3 pieces. You can sort of see the crack line there, and then this whole chunk was busted out there. Maybe it's easier to see on this side. So this is your first cam lobe, the one that does the shifting in the gearbox, and this larger one is the one that lifts to open the cockpit, the bat wings, if you will. And even though I glued this one together so I could get proper measurements off of it, it of course would not fit snugly back onto the metal shaft. It is just going to spin free, and there isn't any glue that's going to permanently hold this on there. So I had to remodel it in CAD, then 3D printed a solid one and pressed it onto the shaft. Who knows how long it'll last, because it's basically a poor design. The cam should have been metal, or this piece should have had a piece of metal that was crimped onto the shaft and then somehow fastened onto the plastic cam so that it couldn't spin free or crack over time. The other thing it also doesn't have is, if this cam is pushing this open and some kid grabs it and tries to force the doors closed or force the pilot in, you're just going to break everything again too. Or if you were holding the toy like this while it was running, that cam's going to run, it's trying to push up, it can't push up, so it's going to start spinning on the shaft. Just a nice mechanical effect design, but a poor design from the standpoint of being, you know, robust, being able to take a beating. So there is a light on the front, and there's a little wiper down in there, and this thing that looks like a gear is what causes the light to flash. And then the whole thing that the light is mounted on is spring metal, and it rubs on a separate pinion gear on the motor to cause a squeaking sound. And you see when the bumps come around to turn the light on, it pushes the squeaker away. See, the can came up, turned off the bump and go, and the clicking started. So the bump and go is going right now. Here comes the up part again. So, with any luck, when I get it all back together, with any luck, it's going to operate again. And since I don't edit my videos, that means I'll have to do a second video on it. Another soft point for the all plastic bottom, which of course makes things fragile, is the way these wheels were just popped in on their axles, and how they can pop out and jam and then not turn well. Right now I've got them positioned where they should be working, And I'm going to try to reassemble this, and we'll see if it works when I do.